Would you like to please share your views on how specifically Wisconsin can position itself to compete for jobs and private investment? And I'll ask Mr. Neumann to begin.
There's two different answers to this question. One's a fairly political one, and one is a business owner's approach to this problem. So I'm going to not do the political one. I'm going to go right straight to a business owner. We're in the home building industry. The home building industry was down 80% over the last few years. We had to address this problem. So let me lay out a business solution to bringing jobs to the state of Wisconsin. The first thing that any business owner does when faced with a problem like we have here in the state of Wisconsin, we understand we have to get our arms around what the problem is. We would like to establish an economic development team made up of people from the private sector, perhaps people from this room. We would like that economic development team to study what it is that's put Wisconsin in the position we are in. Forbes magazine calls us the 47th worst state in America to do business. Our largest metropolitan area has lost more jobs than anywhere else in the country except Detroit. We're 96 out of 100 for small business atmosphere in that metropolitan area. What is it that's causing this to be the problem? The next thing we would do in business is set a vision. The vision. We want to be the best place in the world to do business. Wisconsin will be the best state in the country to do business. We will measure that by whether or not we're attracting more jobs than any other state in the country. So understand the problem, set the vision. We will next ask our economic development team to go to the states that are actually attracting jobs in the middle of this recession and identify specifically what it is that they are doing different than we are doing here in the state of Wisconsin. So understand the problem, set the vision, develop the criteria, folks, based on that information as to how we get from where we are as a poor place to do business to where we are the best state in the country to do business. After that, we want to empower our economic development team to be in a position to market what they're doing. Again, business approach here. We want to market the fact that Wisconsin is changing. We would empower our economic development team to spend as much money as they want marketing our state, with the important caveat, and again, this comes from business. For every dollar that you spend, we want to see $10 in new tax revenue to the state of Wisconsin. So understand the problem, set the vision, develop the strategy to get from where we are to where we're going, then make sure that they have the ability to market it, and measure this as we go along and keep adapting until we get the job done. Folks, the business approach to solving the problems facing Wisconsin is the difference in this race, and it's an understanding of what we need to do to turn this state around. Folks, if we can't bring jobs and economic development back to the state, our children are not going to have the same opportunities to raise their families in this great state that we've had. Thank you.
Well, I started to allude to it before. Excuse me, started to allude to that before, but it's really about having an action plan. And it begins with a change in philosophy. Right now, we have a governor in this state for the past 8 years who really views his role as the bureaucrat in chief. His answer to solving our state's problem is adding more government, more spending, more taxes. That's what you're going to get with 4 more years of the same thing if you elect Mayor Tom Barrett from Milwaukee, because his philosophies are exactly the same thing. If you think that's worked, then that's who you should vote for. But if you think we need a fundamental change, the one person who's shown that they can do it, not just in a legislative but in an executive position, is me. And that's why we've laid out a clear plan. I want to go from being the bureaucrat in chief to the advocate in chief, the chief advocate for the state's employers and people to turn the philosophy around. It's not about just having a Secretary of Commerce, it's about having a clear plan that the governor carries across the state and across the country and around the globe to say this is the place to do business, we're going to help our businesses grow, and we're going to start out by doing it by a plan that gets government out of the way of businesses. It's about the things I alluded to before, about reducing the tax burden, eating through the red tape, reducing the litigation burden, demanding a world-class education system that improves so that we can compete globally, tackling healthcare in a way that drives through market-driven solutions and not through government mandates, ensuring that we've got a strong infrastructure system. Instead of spending money on things like an $810 million high-speed rail line between Milwaukee and Madison, that is a waste of our money, but instead those dollars should be spent on roads and bridges here in Kenosha County and across the state of Wisconsin. Those are the things we need leadership on the governor, and we need accountability. You know, one of the reasons why I got elected 3 times in a county that's never elected Republican before, and the last time was 60% of the vote in a county that went 2/3 for the president, is because I lay out clear plans and then I have people hold me accountable for them. I like to put numbers on them. On our plan, we've laid out the fact that if we're elected and we're able to enact that plan, I believe, I believe that we can help the people of this state, not the government. The people of this state create 250,000 jobs by the end of our first term. That's 250,000 jobs by 2015. I know we can do it because we did it before. 25 years ago, we faced almost identical circumstances. And by 5 years later, in 1990, with a new governor, we had created 258,000 new jobs in the state. We can do it, but it takes the right philosophy, the right ideals, and most importantly, the right leadership to move this state forward.